Welcome back to Timmy's TV Throwback. Today, we will be looking at the Australian children's TV show that follows the supernatural adventures of the Twist family. Yes, it's time for Round the Twist. The show lasted for 4 seasons and started airing from 1990. The show focuses on the Twist family moving to an old lighthouse. The family features a widow called Tony and his children, his 8-year-old son, Bronson, and his 14-year-old twins, Pete and Linda. There are also a number of other characters we meet throughout the show. This first episode we are looking at is called Skeleton on the Dunny. We catch the Twists on the road as they are driving to their new house, singing on the road unknowing what is going to happen when they get there. Bronson is dying for a wee as they soon arrive at their new house. He then spots the dunny as he rushes to it, but he hears a noise so doesn't enter. It then opens on its own. Meanwhile, Linda enters the lighthouse to find some old captain lady. All of a sudden some people turn up to welcome the Twists as Bronson comes rushing back from the dunny to complain that someone was in the dunny with him. One of the kids then talks about dead Ned. Bronson is confused as the family then inspects the house. They head up to the top of the lighthouse as Bronson wants to know more about dead Ned. Mr. Gribble wants to buy the place as the captain lady gets annoyed at him. Pete and Linda then discover this old room as they are stunned at all the dust. They all head upstairs for some reason as Mr. Twist and the captain lady explains it is all her late brother's stuff. We then see the Twists alone eating dinner as Bronson is still concerned about the toilet. We then see Bronson unpacking into his room as he keeps looking at the dunny. He wants one of the family to come with him, but no one wants to come, so he goes by himself. In the pitch black, Bronson is heading to the dunny as someone is watching him. He dashes back inside as he tells his dad, but he doesn't believe him as Linda then needs the loo. They head out together as Bronson is still scared as he thinks there is a ghost. Linda enters the dunny alone as Bronson stands outside waiting. All of a sudden she sees a ghost. She jumps out as the captain lady explains it was dead Ned. Linda then rushes to go tell Pete as he doesn't believe them. They convince Pete to head down to the dunny as the ghost then reappears and scares him, making him lose his tooth. The 3 of them head inside as the ghost disappears. In the daytime they head to the sewage farm as they go searching for Pete's tooth. The man explains he hasn't seen a tooth, but he can look through the dentures. Pete finds his tooth as the 3 of them go back to the dunny. They head inside the dunny as they wait for the ghost. The ghost arrives as it becomes the dunny and scares the children. Dead Ned just wanted the painting that was in the dunny. He then flies away as the children take the painting to the captain lady as the episode then ends. In this next episode called Birds Do, the captain lady stumbles to the lighthouse to say something about a dragon. The Twists let her in as she is explaining what happened. Mr. Gribble tells his wife to keep her in hospital for being insane as Mr. Gribble wants her house. The Twists then arrive at the hospital wanting to see the captain lady. They listen to the captain lady as she is talking about her late brother. The Twists are then chucked out of the hospital. Mr. Gribble brings some Saudi friends to the captain lady's house. They arrive at the lighthouse as Mr. Gribble shows them around the cottage. The Saudi then buys Tony's art piece. The kids then come up with a plan to help the captain lady. They head to the cave as they look for the rubies she kept talking about. Pete and Linda go ahead, while Bronson is ordered to stay behind and watch the cave. As Linda and Pete are walking on the beach, some seagulls poop on them, then all of a sudden they go crazy on them and they get trapped or something. They get out as they are covered in poop. Meanwhile, Bronson heads into the cave alone as Linda and Pete find the shack and look for the rubies. Bronson goes searching for the dragon. The twins spot a ghost seagull, but can't find the rubies. All of a sudden the seagulls poop on the shack and smother it in poop, trapping them inside. Meanwhile, Bronson finds all these dog collars in the cave. Linda and Pete try to get out the shack, but they can't. So they climb out the chimney as Bronson keeps going further and further in the cave. Linda decides to give the stuffed seagull to the ghost as she believes it's his body. Bronson finds a giant skull in the cave as he takes a number of pictures of it. All of a sudden the dragon comes out and scares him. He then gets knocked out. Meanwhile, the ghost seagull gets his body back and then poops out the rubies. I just don't know what to say at this point. Pete and Linda rush to the cave as they can't find Bronson, so they run away. Meanwhile, at the hospital, the captain lady is getting discharged from hospital as Pete and Linda explain what happened. All of a sudden, Bronson comes rushing into the hospital saying there is a dragon as the nurse says there is no dragon. The cube he is holding then turns out to be an egg as a dragon pops out of it. The dragon bites the nurse's arm as chaos unfolds. The captain lady leaves the hospital as the twists then take a photo with the dragon. It then flies back into the cave as the episode ends. In this final episode, we are looking at is called Lucky Lips. We see Pete dreaming about his celebrity crush as he wants to kiss her. He soon gets interrupted as Linda comes in and teases him about a letter he posted in a magazine as he has never been kissed. We then see them at a disco as everyone is dancing. Pete walks his crush home as he tries to get his first kiss. The Gribbles were watching and then tease him. Pete then heads to the fair as he sees a lady. He follows her into her place, but the young lady turns into an old lady. The old lady explains how to get a kiss from the girl of his dreams. The old lady gives Pete some magical lipstick. Pete takes it as he goes to get his kiss from his crush Fiona. Pete puts on the lipstick as he heads back to Fiona's house, but her mother answers the door and suddenly kisses him. All the kids tease him the next day at school. In school, Pete puts back on his lipstick as he tries once more, but Fiona is not there as some other kid goes in for the kiss. All the ladies go crazy for Pete, including Linda and his own teacher. I don't even know what is going on at this point. All the ladies run away as Fiona watches on. Back at the lighthouse, the teacher arrives to see Tony as Pete then explains the magical lipstick. Tony takes the lipstick as he then uses it. He then kisses the teacher as Linda runs away. The teacher then leaves as Pete tries to get his lipstick back. Back in school, they have to pair up as they're going to the fair later. Fiona then agrees to go with Pete as they head to the fair. They go around the fair as Pete confesses his feelings, but Gribble Jr. tries to take the lipstick. Pete runs away as they follow him. Pete manages to get some on in time, but he falls into a pig pen and the pigs come in for a kiss. Gribble tries again as Pete gives up. He gets the lipstick as Pete then sits on some rocks. Fiona then comes over and sits down, and Fiona then tells him how she really feels. They kiss for real. Gribble then sees the young lady from earlier, so he goes in for a kiss only for her to turn old again. Pete and Fiona run on the beach as Gribble runs away, and that's the end of that episode. As someone who has never seen this show before this review, it certainly was something of its time, and I just don't know what to say because it was completely crazy. I have seen some strange shows in my time, but this is on a completely new level. I just don't believe it existed, and it's liked by so many Australians. So thank you for watching. If you have any TV shows you like to see me do, put them in the comments.